From Colombia, 23 years old, 16 wins and 3 defeats. He's won the Colombian lightweight title in his time. I saw him box in the UK in April last year. He was at York Hall, which is a famous old Coliseum of British boxing in the East End, and he found himself in with Havana Borges, the Armenian fighter who's won multiple medals at elite level. Got stopped in the 6th round there by body shots, no shame in that. Lost a fight in Russia this year, over 10 rounds against an undefeated fighter, Murad Aliyev. But won his last one, a first round knockout in Colombia in late April.
En la esquina negra de los tomadores de Cuba, Erislandi Alvarez.
Huge cheer for Erislandi Alvarez. He won Cuba's only gold medal in Paris a few weeks ago. And his final against Sofian Umehar was absolutely sensational. Those two had met in the World Championships at 60 kilos a year before in Tashkent, and Umehar, who's been a brilliant fighter, 3-time IBA world champion, won on that occasion, but at 63.5 at the Olympic Games, Alvarez got the win. It was a brilliant fight, an absolutely brilliant fight, and you could see that he just loves the big occasion. He feels that he's really made for it. 3-0 as a pro. Rolando Acebal there, the long-time Cuban head coach in the corner. Vaults over that top rope. Not too many spare seats in the arena now. Luca Vadalonga, our referee. Quite similar, these two, physically, when you look at them. Although Alvarez has got a slightly more solid appearance to him, wider shoulders. Whereas Munoz looks like what he is really, which is a fighter who's coming up in weight. Alvarez, interestingly, one of those boxers who chooses not really to engage with his opponent in the middle of the ring. For the final instructions, he was gazing over Munoz's shoulder into the middle distance. Nice quick jab there from Alvarez. Long right hand gets through. And he's quickly into his work here, Alvarez, and looking to launch that right hand. Munoz trying to fire back. Good left hand there from Alvarez. That caught Munoz, but he manages to get his gloves back up. This is a torrid start, though, for our visitor. He needs to try and get a hold of Alvarez here if he possibly can, and tie him up and buy a little bit of time, because we've only had a minute here, but he's on the receiving end. Right hand comes back there from Munoz, and he does get a hold of Alvarez, and the referee comes and splits the two apart. Just short with the right hand there, Alvarez. Turns southpaw. Munoz has got through that first minute or so. Long right hand again there from Alvarez, scores, and Munoz just throwing out of the corner there, and his chin came right up in the air as he threw a right hand. And if Alvarez had been coming back with something at that point, then that could have been a big problem. But Munoz certainly is not lacking in the minerals department here, because he's been under the gun from the beginning, but he's backing himself to land some shots. An uppercut there from Alvarez almost got through. A left hand did get through there from Munoz around the back of the guard. Closing stages of round one, and things have settled a bit in this final minute of the three. Alvarez throwing that right hand off the back of a nice rangy jab. Little nod at the head between the two of them there. You can see it the way in today that Munoz is bang up for this. Playing to the crowd. I think they're telling him in the corner that he just needs to try and keep a clearer head as best he can, and that's easy to say. It's the right advice, but when you're in this kind of situation, you're boxing in this kind of arena with, I would say, probably about 8,000 in here by now, maybe a few more actually, and the crowd is up, and you're in with a guy who a few weeks ago won an Olympic gold medal in absolutely rip-roaring fashion, then maintaining a completely cool head is not the easiest thing in the world to do. And he's a young man too. He does need to just try and settle a little bit, which he did towards the end of that first round. Partly due to the fact, though, that Alvarez took his foot off the gas a little bit. Alvarez going southpaw at the start of the second. Now back to orthodox, dips to his left-hand side and looks to throw that right hand over the top, following the jab. Munoz steps in and looks for that big overhand himself. Right hand on the inside there from Munoz, I think got through. And he does look just that bit more composed in the second round now. As I say that, he throws that left hook, his chin comes right up in the air, and the uppercut from Alvarez wasn't far away. Switching between stances here, Alvarez, sometimes coming in quite square. Good quick lead hook there from Alvarez. That's neat from Alvarez. Left hook, then rolled away to his right-hand side, and then landed the right hand. Quite a second round. Alvarez just covering up nicely there, tucking the chin behind the shoulder, getting that right glove up. Left hand into the body was a good shot, and it just caused Munoz to back off slightly. I wonder if he felt that. I think he may well have done. So fancy footwork and fine reflexes to finish the round there for Erislandi Alvarez. Quite around that second one compared to the first, but they did go at it pretty much on the B of the bang there at the beginning of the first round. Alvarez knows that potentially he's got 6 rounds to negotiate here. He has had 3 pro fights against no serious opposition. His last one was in Dubai in January. That was over 6. A comfortable outing. And this is the crowd in attendance. The World Championships, as I said, started here 50 years ago. In this very ring, we saw the likes of Teofilo Stevenson of Cuba, Wilfredo Gomez of Puerto Rico, Matapalov from what was then known as Yugoslavia, Ayub Kalule of Uganda, Howard Davis of the USA, all letting their hands go. Good left hand there from Alvarez. It looks for the uppercut. Right hand into the body. Left hand again, just short. That one landed though. These two right up above me. Nice combination. The right hand got through, and then Munoz manages to get hold of Alvarez. And he did well too, because he was on the receiving end there, Munoz. He's got a habit when he's under pressure and backed up to the ropes, he'll fling and left hook Munoz, and that chin comes right up in the air. He did it again there. And again, he got away with it. And you just get the feeling that Alvarez can click into that higher gear almost whenever he feels like it and really put his man under some pressure. He's using that higher gear relatively sparingly in these early stages, but when he does look for it, it won't just be one combination. He'll look to keep that tempo really high for a good 10-15 seconds, which might not sound like very long, but in terms of the amount of punches he's able to throw in that time, is a long time. Nice right hand there from Munoz, was in tight, threw it over the top, nice shallow arc to it. Good body attack there from Alvarez. The upper body movement was really, really good, and then just rattled a couple off to the rib cage. Right to the body from Alvarez, just feinting to the head almost with the jab, and then the right hand downstairs. Munoz just gesturing to Alvarez, come on, let's get in the middle of the ring and let our hands go. And Alvarez just couldn't resist the bait there. He fell for that one, hook, line and sinker. And Munoz again there just looks to try and rip with that left hand. And the away corner fighters so far tonight have given really good value. Every single one of them really come to fight, and that should always be the case, but it's not always, because sometimes fighters will come and they know they're up against it and they'll cover up and they'll look to get through. And Munoz is getting an absolute volley in the corner there. At times he's a little bit reckless, but he's come to have a fight here, and I've got all the time in the world for that. There's that left hand that lands from Alvarez, and when he's in a bit of trouble and under pressure, his instinct is to throw and leave himself slightly open. But just there where he fell in and grabbed a hold of Alvarez, that was good, that was what he needed to do. But he wants to have a fight here. And I don't think it really matters too much what the corner says to him. That is what he's going to do. into the second half of this one, scheduled for 6. 63.5 kilos. Light welterweight, super lightweight. Take your pick. Long right hand there from Alvarez. He's in the black. Jose Munoz of Colombia, originally Venezuela, in the white. Alvarez is backing him into the corner there. Munoz picks up that back foot, that front foot. He didn't fall for it though. He wants it in the centre. Alvarez looking to try and wind up with that right hand. But what's interesting about this for someone like Alvarez is that in elite amateur boxing, opponents don't do this. You can't do this. The referee will not allow it. That kind of gesturing and showboating and that bit of chat. But in professional boxing, referees will let a lot more go. Good long left hand there out of the southpaw stance from Alvarez. Lovely left hand into the body there, got good distance on that, really dug his toes in. That left was low, that was low. I had a great view of that. I was right behind that, and that was low. He'll be given time here, Munoz. He doesn't need to rush. You can get as much as 5 minutes to recover from a low blow. He won't take 5 minutes, but he would be advised just to take as long as he needs. You don't need to rush back into action and try and prove a point. Take the time. And that was low, you can see there. That was bang on the cup. Nice overhand right there from Munoz. Just sent the sweat spraying off the head of Alvarez. It goes down to the body again there. And I think he's doing some decent work to the body, Alvarez. That left that we saw that was low was one thing, but he's landed quite a few good, sweet body shots that have been perfectly legal. In the final minute of round 4, there's another one there, just stabbing to the rib cage with that right hand. Loaded up with a left hand there, Alvarez didn't quite land it. Uppercut, got through, cracked the chin there of Munoz. Right hand, I thought was probably just about okay actually, but the referee had a better view. We'll probably get to see it again. He was probably on the belt. I thought maybe on the top end of the belt, but Luca Vallelonga was even closer than I am. Well, there goes the bell at the end of the 4th, and he took in a big gulp of air as he heads for the corner there, Jose Munoz. I think he's starting to feel this now, and I think that's mainly down to the bodywork of his opponents. The corner's still very vocal with him. I don't think he's really going to change his approach here, so they've just got to try and get him through this. Encourage him, pick out small things, little things, something to leave him with as he gets up off the stool. Fighters often say that the last thing they're told in there, in the break between rounds, is the one thing that they'll remember, particularly if it's getting tough. And it is tough in there for Munoz. It was always going to be. This guy is serious news. So into the 5th. It'll be interesting to see if Alvarez can just turn the screw a bit here. Keep going to that body. Started slow. in this 5th round. Alvarez just circling around Munoz, who's holding that centre for the most part. Just pushed him off with a forearm there, Alvarez. I think the referee didn't really see that. He looked for the long left hand as he was kind of switching stances, and then just gave a little bit of a shove with the forearm. It didn't lead to anything. That's good from Munoz. Took his feet in there. Got some weight on that left hand to the body. You just get the sense that Alvarez is waiting for an opportunity here, though. He's waiting to explode into action. Chopping down with the right hand there. Munoz just caught on the ropes. The right hand crashes through onto his jaw. And he's setting those feet now, Alvarez. And Munoz needs to try and get hold if he can. Keep that guard up. Dips his knees well there and slides under the right hand. And now does grab hold. He's trapping that glove, and the referee will have a word about this in a second. He's trapped both gloves. And then Alvarez was able to get free and continue to punch. Luca Vadalonga in close attendance there. 2 or 3 got through, but Munoz did land a shot himself just before that. He's always coming back with enough here, but this is getting tough. This is getting tough. But there's a right hand from Munoz. It doesn't do much to discourage Alvarez. But he is landing. When he needs something, he's finding something. But it's pretty much one-way traffic. Alvarez just looking to try and sink that right-handed through the guard. But again, a left hand comes back from Munoz. This is brave from the Colombian fighter. He's really looking to hang in there. Left to the body. It was a good shot. And then Alvarez just short with a long uppercut. That'll go to the end of the 5th, and again, it's a good fight to watch this. The question is can Erislandi Alvarez in this 6th and final round just bring that concerted pressure, click into that high gear, and basically just stay there and get this job done? I feel like he can, because there's enough coming back from Munoz in those rough passages to mean that the referee, I don't think he's ever really been close to jumping in, but I do think that's a possibility in this final round. If Alvarez just keeps working, keeps letting those hands go, 2-3 phases, and if he pins him on the ropes and all of a sudden not much is coming back, then Luca Vadalonga might at that point be tempted to step in and say that that's enough. Sixth and final round, a touch of gloves between the two. Here we go. But Alvarez might be feeling the pace himself. This has been lively right from the beginning. And there's a nice long right hand again, though, from Alvarez. Munoz on the retreat here, and that right crashes into the guard. And that one evades the guard. And this is where he wants him here, Alvarez. Lovely stabbing left hand to the body. Just backs him up. Long left uppercut, looking for the right hand. And again to the body. He's never neglected that all of the way through. That was a bit low potentially, but I don't think it really landed. He's thrown a lot of punches in there tonight, Erislandi Alvarez, and I think what we could see in this final round is that he is feeling the pace of this as well. I'm not sure if he's necessarily got it in him to launch that one last really big assault, or 2 or 3 assaults that he could probably need to maybe force a stoppage here. It's not that important whether he gets one or not, but fighters always do want them. Left hand there from Alvarez, and he did there, Munoz, exactly what he's been doing all fight. He then dropped his gloves and looked to just fling in that left hook. That's good movement from Alvarez. Just busies up those hands on the inside. Munoz not far from the finish line now. And I think he'll get a good ovation from this Cuban crowd, because they've seen somebody come to mix it right from the beginning here, in with someone who is just quite simply a better fighter in every aspect, but he's never let that discourage him. And I think he's realised, Erislandi Alvarez, that the inside the distance win isn't going to happen here, but he's won every single round of this fight, and he's done so in good fashion. Munoz just working those hands right up to the final bell. There goes the bell. It's been quite the few weeks for Erislandi Alvarez, winning that Olympic gold medal at the start of August, and here just 2.5, 3 weeks later, boxing in front of a packed Coliseo de la Ciudad Deportiva. It doesn't get much better for a Cuban fighter.
La decisión del tercer combate de la noche en la división de los 63,5 kilogramos. El ganador por votación unánime en la esquina negra de los domadores de Cuba,
Unanimous decision for Erislandi Alvarez. A good performance against another opponent who really came to fight and made it a good spectacle. And I think you would call this Havana crowd a knowledgeable crowd, and they salute the effort there given by Jose Munoz. Landed the black flip, which takes some doing after 6 hard rounds.